I process files every day that no one ever looks at. I have never seen the person who generates these files. I do not know who they are for. In this building, we do not talk. We pass each other with identical badges around our necks. My work is the rhythm of the printer and the smell of cardboard dust. It is a perfect place. Nothing ever happens here, except for the queue that arrives at midnight. I work in a building that keeps complete copies of every transaction that passes through the regional accounting system. Invoices, approvals, amendments, closures. The system generates them. We file them. I was hired 6 months ago. The job listing called it data stewardship. The interview was short. They asked if I was comfortable with repetitive tasks. I said yes. They asked if I had questions about the purpose of the role. I said no. The room is long and narrow. There are no windows. The lighting is even and cool. 4 rows of filing cabinets run the length of the space. The cabinets feel less like furniture and more like the visible part of something I cannot see. At the far end there is a door marked Archives B. I have never been inside. My work happens at the desk near the entrance. Each morning I log into the system. A queue appears. It shows the files generated overnight. Most are 2 or 3 pages. Some are longer. The queue updates at midnight. I am not here at midnight. But each morning when I arrive, the queue is waiting. It does not fail. It does not skip days. Every morning the queue is full. I download them, print them, and place them in the designated drawer. The drawer corresponds to the fiscal quarter. Once a quarter ends, I move its contents to the cabinets. That is the process. There is a manual on the desk. It is spiral-bound, about 40 pages. The cover says Maintenance Protocol. I read it during my first week. It describes the filing structure, the naming conventions, the sequence for quarterly archiving. On the last page, there is a note. It says, in case of interruption, contact the regional coordinator. There is no name. There is no number. I have never needed to contact anyone. The work is easy. It takes 3 to 4 hours. After that, I stay at my desk. Staying feels more natural than leaving. Sometimes I review old files. Sometimes I reorganize sections that do not need reorganizing. Sometimes I walk between the cabinets. The air is still. My footsteps are the only sound. The building is quiet. I see other people occasionally in the hallway or the stairwell. We do not speak. There is no hostility in this. We simply do not speak. They wear identification badges like mine. They carry folders or laptops. They move with the same steady pace. Everyone here works alone. I do not know what the other floors contain. I have only ever been on the 3rd. My desk faces the cabinets. To my right is the printer. To my left is a small table where I keep the quarterly archive boxes. The boxes are uniform, gray cardboard, labeled by date range. When a quarter ends, I transfer its drawer contents into a box and place the box in the cabinets. The manual specifies which row and which section. There is a logic to the arrangement. The oldest files are farthest from the desk. I have never retrieved a file after archiving it. The manual does not say. The system runs on its own schedule. My role is to ensure the files are printed and stored according to protocol. That is all. The files exist because I file them. That seems enough. On my 3rd week, something small happened. A file in the queue had been generated twice. Same document, same timestamp, different reference numbers. Both appeared in the queue at the same time. I opened the first file. It was a standard procurement approval, 3 pages, properly formatted. I opened the second file. It was identical. Same vendor, same amount, same approval chain. Only the reference number was different. I printed both. I filed the first in drawer Q2 where it belonged. I filed the second in the same drawer, directly behind the first. They sat together in sequence. The manual said nothing about this being incorrect. The next morning the queue was normal. Standard files, standard procedure. I printed them and filed them. The system continued. The weeks pass in the same rhythm. The queue appears each morning. I download the files, print them, and place them in the designated drawers. Most days the queue contains 12 to 15 files. Some days there are more. The number varies, but the process does not. The printer is loud when it starts. It hums for a few seconds before the first page emerges. I print in batches. 5 files. Then I collect the pages and separate them while the next batch prints. The paper tray holds 500 sheets. I refill it twice a week. The new stack sits heavy in my hands. I slide it into the tray and push until it clicks. At the end of each quarter, I transfer the contents of the drawers into archive boxes. I remove each file and stack them carefully. The files align at the edges. I write the quarter and year on the box label with a black marker. The cardboard smells faintly of dust. The boxes are placed in the cabinets according to the manual. Row 2 for the previous year. Row 3 for the year before that. The oldest boxes are in row 4. I have filled several boxes since I started. The work takes 3 to 4 hours. After that I stay. I straighten folders that are already aligned. I adjust the spacing between boxes. I walk between the rows and check that each label faces forward. The drawers at the bottom of the cabinets are heavier than the ones at the top. They slide with resistance when full. I wipe dust from the cabinet tops with a cloth I keep in the desk drawer. The air in the room does not move. The lighting does not change. Sometimes I open a box from an earlier quarter and review its contents. The files are identical to the ones I process now. Same format, same structure. I close the box and return it to its place. The system does not require this review. I do it anyway. The queue refills each night. The cabinets have space for more boxes. The manual describes storage for years ahead. One morning in my 5th month, something small happens. The queue appears as always. 17 files. I open the first file. It is a standard invoice, 2 pages, properly formatted. I open the second file. It is 3 pages. I open the third file. I read the header. It shows Q3. The date in the header is August 12th. It is currently May. I scroll through the document. Vendor name, purchase order number, approval signatures. All fields are filled. All data is consistent. Only the quarter marker is wrong. I print the file. The printer hums. The pages emerge one at a time. I collect them and look at the header again on paper. Q3, August 12th. I place the file in the current quarter drawer with the others. The manual does not address files with incorrect headers. It sits with the others. The drawer closes. The next morning the queue is normal. 14 files. Standard quarters, standard dates. I download them, print them, file them. The routine holds. 2 weeks later, I am standing by the cabinets. I do this sometimes after the work is done. I place my hand on one of the boxes. The cardboard is smooth and cool. I count the boxes in row 2. There are several. I count the boxes in row 3. There are more than in the row above. I have been here 6 months. I have never seen anyone else in this room during work hours. The rows feel like they extend past the walls. I return to my desk. The queue will appear again tomorrow. It always does. I will download the files and print them and file them. That is how the work is arranged. Another week passes. Each morning I process the files. The drawers fill slowly. The quarter will end in 6 weeks. I will transfer the contents to a new box. The box will join the others in row 2. The manual is open on my desk. I am reading the section on quarterly transitions. The instructions are clear. Remove contents from drawers. Place in labeled box. Store in designated row. I have done this twice already. I will do it again. The process does not change. The routine holds. The quarter ends. I transfer the contents of the drawers into a new box. I label it with the quarter and year. The marker cap clicks when I remove it. The ink smells sharp. I carry the box to row 2 and slide it into place beside the others. The box fits without gap. The row is fuller than it was 3 months ago. The next morning the queue appears. 19 files. I download them, print them, file them. The work continues as it has. The printer hums. The pages emerge. The drawers accept each file. Weeks pass. Each morning the queue is full. I process the files. The routine does not vary. After the work is done, I stay. I walk between the rows. I check the alignment of the cabinets. Sometimes a box sits slightly forward. I push it back until it aligns with the others. The cardboard edges are smooth under my hands. I wipe dust from the cabinet tops more often now. The cloth darkens with each pass. I fold it and return it to the desk drawer. The room is quiet. The air does not move. My footsteps are the only sound. One morning in my 7th month, something small happens. The queue appears. 22 files. I open the first file. Standard invoice. I open the second file. Standard approval form. I open the third file. The header is complete. Vendor name, reference number, date. The date is from 2 years ago. March. Before I was hired. I scroll down. The body of the document is filled. Purchase details, approval signatures, amounts. All fields are complete. Only the date is from before. I print the file. The pages emerge. I look at the date again on paper. 2 years ago. I place it in the current quarter drawer. It sits with the others. The drawer closes. The next morning the queue is normal. Standard files, standard dates. I process them. The routine holds. A week later, I am standing by the cabinets. I do this more often now. I place my hand on one of the boxes in row 2. The cardboard is cool. I count the boxes. There are more than there were last month. I walk to row 3. The boxes here have been here longer. No one has moved them. No one has retrieved them. I return to my desk. The work continues. I continue working. The queue refills each night. I process the files each morning. After the work is done, I stay. I straighten what is already straight. I adjust what is already aligned. The manual is open on my desk. I read the section on storage maintenance. It describes the quarterly transfer process. It describes the labeling system. It does not describe what happens after storage. It does not describe retrieval. It does not say how long I should remain after tasks are done. I remain. Another week passes. Each morning I process the files. The work takes 3 to 4 hours. After that I stay. No one checks the work. No one instructs staying. The manual does not say to remain. But leaving feels less natural than staying. I walk between the rows. The cabinets stand as they have always stood. The boxes accumulate slowly. The files inside them remain. I open them. I place them there. The routine holds. By the 8th month, the routine is seamless. I arrive each morning at the same time. The queue is waiting. I log in, download the files, print them, file them. The work takes 3 to 4 hours. After that, I stay. I walk between the rows. I straighten boxes. I wipe dust from the cabinet tops. I check the alignment of the drawers. The quarter ends. I transfer the contents into a new box. I label it. I carry it to row 2 and slide it into place. The row is nearly full now. I will need to begin using row 3 soon. The manual describes this. The oldest boxes move deeper into the cabinets. The newest remain closest to the desk. Weeks pass. The queue appears each morning. Standard files. Standard procedure. I process them. The drawers fill. I empty them into boxes. The boxes accumulate. The system continues. One morning I am sitting at my desk. The queue is open. 15 files. I have already processed 12 of them. 3 remain. I look at the screen. The files are waiting. They will wait until I process them. If I do not process them today, they will wait until tomorrow. If I do not process them tomorrow, they will wait. But I will process them. I look at the cabinets. The rows extend toward the far wall. The boxes inside them contain files I have placed there. No one else has placed them there. No one else maintains this room. No one checks the work. No one enforces the schedule. The manual describes the process but does not require it. The queue appears but does not demand action. I process the files. I remain after work. The structure does not need me. It needs someone. I am someone. I continue. I finish the remaining 3 files. I print them. I file them. The drawer closes. The work is complete for today. The building is quiet. The hallway is empty. My shift, if it can be called that, is over. I do not leave. I stand and walk to the cabinets. I place my hand on one of the boxes in row 2. The cardboard is cool and smooth. I count the boxes. There are more than there were last month. I open one. Inside are files from 6 months ago. Standard invoices, standard approvals. I close the box and return it to its place. I walk back to my desk. I sit down. The screen is still on. Tomorrow the queue will refill. Tomorrow I will log in and process the files. I will print them and file them. I will transfer completed quarters into boxes. I will place the boxes in the cabinets. No one requires this. I do it anyway. The manual is open on my desk. I close it. I do not need to read it anymore. I know the process. I have performed it for 8 months. I will perform it tomorrow. I will perform it the day after. The room is quiet. The cabinets stand in their rows. The boxes inside them accumulate slowly. The files inside the boxes remain undisturbed. No one retrieves them. No one requests them. They exist because I file them. The routine holds. I continue.